Hello and welcome to this another part of our Azure Fundamentals Ultimate course, friends. Many of you have been waiting for a new part in the series, so here we are back with more practice questions. Let's start with question number 503. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. Azure China, and your options are is operated by Microsoft, has feature parity with Azure Global, services can be accessed from China only, is a distinct separate instance of Microsoft Azure. Now, folks, Azure China is operated by 21 ViaNet, so making first option as the incorrect one. Azure in China has a feature parity gap with the Azure Global, but the gap is narrowing. To access Azure China, resources from outside China, you will need to establish a private connection using either a VPN or express route, but it is possible to access it outside China. Azure China regions are physically disconnected from global Azure region, making last option as the correct choice here. Next question. Match the security components to the appropriate defense in-depth layers. Instructions are to answer, drag the appropriate security component from the column on the left to its defense in-depth layer on the right. Each security component may be used once, more than once, or not at all. The components are multi-factor authentication, software updates and patches, and surveillance camera. So folks, the first part of the question is talking about compute. Now you need to keep software up to date, which ensures vulnerabilities in the computing environments are patched. And friends, the next part is talking about identity and access. Multi-factor authentication is used to verify user identity and prevent unauthorized access. And folks, finally, the third part is talking about physical security. And physical security measures like camera protect data centers and infrastructures from unauthorized physical access. Next question. Which of the following defines the data processing and security terms for online services, including the disclosure of processed data and the transfer, retention, and deletion of data? Your options are Microsoft Online Services Privacy Statement, Online Subscription Agreement for Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Online Service Level Agreement, Microsoft Data Protection Addendum. Now, folks, the Microsoft Data Protection Addendum defines the data processing and security terms for online services. It covers how Microsoft processes customer data, security commitments, data transfer, retention, and deletion policies, and compliance with global privacy laws like GDPR. Now, there is a link on your screen. Go through it to understand this in more detail. Question number 506. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. And folks, the first statement is, you can use Azure policy to apply tags to resources. This is a correct statement. Azure policy can enforce tag rules by requiring that new resources include specific tags, and with the new modify effect and a remediation task, you can also apply tags to existing resources. Now, folks, the second statement is you can add multiple tags to the same Azure resource. This is also a correct statement. Azure allows you to assign multiple tags to a single resource. Each resource or resource group supports up to 50 tags, and tag names must be unique per resource. And the third statement is an Azure resource inherits tags from the resource group to which the resource is deployed. Tags applied to a resource group do not automatically propagate to resources within it. Each resource must have its own tags explicitly assigned. So folks, I hope you now understand why each of these statements was marked as true or false. But if you still have any doubts, please post them in the comments section. Question number 507. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. You have an Azure virtual network named VNet1 in a resource group named RG1. You assign an Azure policy definition of not allowed resource type and specify that virtual networks are not an allowed resource type in RG1. VNet 1, your options are is deleted automatically, is moved automatically to another resource group, continues to function normally, is now a read-only object. Now, folks, the VNet will be marked as non-compliant when the policy is assigned. However, it will not be deleted and will continue to function normally. You won't be able to create any new virtual networks in the resource group going forward. Now, folks, if you're liking the content, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe the channel. Let's look at question number 508. Which of the following enables users to authenticate to multiple applications by using single sign-on? Application security groups in Azure, Microsoft Entra ID, Azure Key Vault, Azure Security Center. Now, folks, Microsoft Entra ID enables single sign-on, allowing users to authenticate once and gain access to multiple applications without needing to re-enter credentials. It supports SSO for Microsoft 365, Azure services, and third-party applications. Question number 509. From Azure Monitor, you can monitor resources across multiple Azure subscriptions. This is a correct statement. Azure Monitor provides a unified view of logs, metrics, and alerts across multiple subscriptions and even multiple tenants. Question number 510. From Azure Monitor, you can create alerts. This is also a correct statement, friends. Azure Monitor alerts allow you to detect and respond to critical conditions in your Azure resources. Alerts can be based on metrics like CPU usage greater than 80%, log analytics queries like failed login attempts, and activity logs like resource deletion. Let's look at question number 511. Your network contains an Active Directory forest. The forest contains 5,000 user accounts. Your company plans to migrate all network resources to Azure and to decommission the on-premises data center. You need to recommend a solution to minimize the impact on users after the planned migration. What should you recommend? Your options are implement Azure multi-factor authentication, sync all the Active Directory user accounts to Microsoft Entra ID, instruct all users to change their password, create a guest user account in Microsoft Entra ID for each user. Now, friends, you should sync all the Active Directory user accounts to Microsoft Entra ID, and you would need Microsoft Entra Connect to do the synchronization. This ensures users keep their existing credentials and there is no need to create new accounts. Now, folks, if you are someone who is looking to gain access to the PDF version of all the questions that we have covered in the series till now, then do not forget to take the gold membership of the channel. You just need to email me at devopshub2023@gmail.com requesting the PDF copy once you have taken the membership. These all instructions are available in the description section of the video as well. Question number 512. Your Azure environment contains multiple Azure virtual machines. You need to ensure that a virtual machine named VM1 is accessible from the internet over HTTP. The solution you choose is you modify a DDoS protection plan. Does this meet the goal? You need to tell whether this is right or wrong. Folks, modifying a DDoS protection plan does not meet the goal. DDoS protection helps protect your resources from distributed denial of service attacks, but it does not control accessibility over specific protocols like HTTP. You would need to modify the network security group in this case. Question number 513. You are implementing Microsoft Entra ID in your organization. You need to provide external partners with access to your organization's resources without requiring them to have accounts in your Entra ID tenant. What should you do? Your options are create guest accounts in Microsoft Entra ID for each external partner, configure a B2B collaboration in Microsoft Entra ID, enable self-service password reset for external partners, create external security groups for each partner. Now, friends, you should configure B2B collaboration in Microsoft Entra ID, as B2B, which stands for business to business, allows external partners to use their own credentials to access your organization's resources without requiring you to create individual account for them. Now, as always, there is a link on your screen. Go through the link to understand more about Entra ID B2B collaboration. Question number 514. You have an Azure virtual machine named VM1. You plan to encrypt VM1 by using Azure disk encryption. Which Azure resource must you create first? Your options are an Azure storage account, an Azure key vault, an Azure information protection policy, an encryption key. Now, friends, before you can encrypt an Azure virtual machine using Azure disk encryption, you need to create an Azure key vault to store the encryption keys. The key vault will manage the encryption keys that are used for encrypting the VM's disks. You will then use Azure disk encryption in combination with the key vault to encrypt the VM's OS and data disks. Now, friends, there are two links on your screen on how Azure disk encryption can be implemented for Windows and Linux VMs. Go through the link to understand how to implement this in more details. This might be out of scope from Azure Fundamentals exam perspective, but if you are someone who is going to progress further in Azure certifications, then you should know this. Next question. Azure Firewall will encrypt all the network traffic sent from Azure to the internet. You need to tell whether this statement is right or wrong. And friends, Azure Firewall does not encrypt network traffic sent from Azure to internet. Azure Firewall is primarily a stateful firewall that monitors and filters incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. It focuses on traffic control and filtering, not on encryption. Now, folks, let's look another variation of this type of question. A network security group will encrypt all the network traffic sent from Azure to internet. This is also an incorrect statement. Network security group in Azure is used to control inbound and outbound network traffic based on rules such as allowing or denying traffic based on IP addresses, ports, and protocols. Question number 517. You can only manage cloud services from Windows devices. Folks, the keyword here is only, which makes it an incorrect statement. You can manage Azure cloud services from any device, not just Windows devices. Azure provides a variety of tools and interfaces to manage services, including Azure Portal, which is web-based, accessible from any modern browser, including those on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. You can use Azure CLI, which is cross-platform, available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And then the another option is Azure PowerShell, which is available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux as well. Question number 518. You can only manage cloud services from the command line. Again, folks, the keyword here is only, as you can manage cloud services from Azure Portal, REST APIs, and Azure PowerShell, and obviously Azure CLI as well. Next question. Match the Azure service to the correct description. Again, the instructions are to answer, drag the appropriate Azure service from the column on the left to its description on the right. Each service may be used once, more than once, or not at all. The four services in the questions are Azure Databricks, Azure Functions, Azure App Service, Azure Application Insights. Now, friends, the first part of the question is talking about provides the platform for serverless code. Now, folks, whenever you see serverless being mentioned, then look for Azure Functions in the list of options. Azure Functions is a serverless compute service that allows you to run event-driven code without managing infrastructure. Now, the next part of the question is talking about a big data analysis service for machine learning. And friends, Azure Databricks is the analytics platform optimized for big data and machine learning. Now, the next one is detects and diagnose anomalies in web apps. Azure Application Insights is an application performance monitoring service used to detect and diagnose issues in web apps. And folks, the last one is hosts web apps. Azure App Service is a platform as a service offering for hosting web applications, REST APIs, and mobile backends. So folks, that's all for this part of the series. I hope you have liked the content. If you have, then do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe the channel. I'll see you soon in the further parts of this series.